Hello everybody, Mark aka the Nerdy Punk back again today for a new video. I hope you all are doing well. As you can tell, I'm out and about today. I'm going to head out and do a little bit of media hunting. I'm going to go to Disc Replay, Best Buy, Walmart, all the big three there. Hit those stores and see what's been coming out on Blu-ray recently. I do have a Walmart that's relatively close to my house, but they have very poor selection in Blu-rays and DVDs. They've gone down to now, I think they just have like 3 little sections. Before they used to have an entire row of movies, and now everything just seems to be whittling down. I'm interested to check out Best Buy because the last time I went to Best Buy, or at least this Best Buy, it appeared like they were massively downsizing their movie selection as well. So fingers crossed that there's actually some movies there and more than just like one row of movies. But there is a couple new releases that I am kind of interested in, one of which is Nomadland, which if you watch the Oscars, you know that Nomadland won the most awards out of any movie, so I'm interested in checking that out. As far as the Oscars this year, so I watched the Oscars, but I didn't watch like the whole thing. I only saw 2 or 3 of the Best Picture nominees this year. Obviously, last year being what it was, didn't have the chance to go to the theaters like normal, so I missed out on some that I could have saw in theaters. But for the most part, I didn't watch Nomadland, I didn't watch Minari, which I really want to watch Minari, but I don't think it's out on Blu-ray yet. And I figure I'll just wait for it to be on Blu-ray because it's probably a movie I'm going to want to own. But yeah, I didn't see that. I didn't see Nomadland. Lots of movies I didn't see. I think the only 2 that I saw were Mank and Trial of Chicago 7, which I really liked. But anyway, my overall thoughts on the Oscars, you know, I don't have a whole lot of them since I didn't get to see those movies. I know Frances McDormand is a hell of an actress, so I'm glad that she won Best Actress. Even though I didn't see this movie, I'm sure she's fantastic in it. There was the whole Anthony Hopkins, Chadwick Boseman situation. I did see Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. I don't know if it was nominated for Best Picture or not, but that was a fantastic film. I thought Chadwick Boseman deserved it, but I didn't see the father, so Hopkins' performance probably deserved it as well. So I wasn't too bent out of shape over that. It was just kind of a clunky show this year. The one thing I was really, really happy for was Thomas Vinterberg, who directed Another Round, which the Danish film, if you watched my top 10 movies, you know I loved that movie. I'm so happy that he won the award for Best Foreign Film. So I was very happy about that. And I've heard that they're going to be doing a American remake with Leonardo DiCaprio of Another Round. So I'm interested to see what's going to go on there. I'm not going to completely write it off. I'm sure that, well, I'm not even going to say anything about it because I don't know what it's going to be like. Don't know what approach they're going to take. So, you know, just kind of something to look out for in the next few years. Okay, I'm going to kind of stop rambling on. I'm going to meet you at our first stop of the day, which will most likely be Disc Replay. Okay, we are at Disc Replay. Let's head inside and see if we can find anything good. Okay, so I was able to snag quite a few titles here from Super Mega Replay. Or not Super Mega Replay, Disc Replay. 6 titles all in total, so I'm going to go ahead and go through those real quick. I do believe I got one of them for free. Yes, I did. Very good. Anytime you buy 5 titles, any 5 titles, whether it be games, DVD, Blu-ray, 4K, you always get a 6th one for free. Of course, it's your cheapest one that you get for free, but nonetheless, it's a free movie, and that's pretty cool. So, let's start out with this one here. I picked up Project X, which I have not seen in years. I don't know when this came out. I maybe have only seen it a couple times since this came out. It was 2012 when this was released. This was one of those, you know, comedies, raunchy comedies that I really enjoyed watching in my teenage years when I was in high school, middle school. I would have been in high school when this came out. But I remember really liking it. I remember it being funny, you know, crude humor. So I'm excited to kind of revisit this because, again, I haven't seen it I may have not seen it since 2012. Who knows? So Project X. And then this one was really interesting. I didn't know this existed, but this is called The Runaways. And this is a biopic on Joan Jett and The Runaways. So I'm a big Joan Jett fan. I got to see her in concert a couple years ago when she had her one and only stop at Warped Tour. And I absolutely loved it and been in love with her music ever since. So I'm really excited to see this. I don't know if it's any good or not. I haven't heard anything about it because, again, I didn't know it existed until today. It looks like it came out in 2010. So a little over a decade old now. Next one here. I picked up this movie called Inside Job. You can't see it because of the sticker, but that's what it's called, Inside Job. This is a documentary about the 2008 financial crash, and it seems good. It seems like it's got a lot of interesting information. I am a nerd, but I'm also a teacher, so I do teach. I don't really teach about this because it's so recent, but, you know, I teach social studies, so I've always been really interested in these kinds of films, these kinds of documentaries, so I'm really interested in seeing this. Looks like it got a lot of praise. It was at the Cannes Film Festival, the Toronto Film Festival. I mean, you name it, it's there. So really excited about this one. Let's see what else I got in here. 3 more titles. This one I went back and forth about whether I'd pick it up or not. This is The Curious Case of Benjamin Button, and just now I'm realizing that the Blu-ray case is broke. Fantastic. I could always get a replacement Blu-ray case. But anyway, this is a Criterion release, believe it or not. I know the blue case, right? But this was, I believe, the first Blu-ray that came out on Criterion, or from Criterion, and they really weren't sure what they were doing yet. And so instead of releasing it in their trademark square clear case, they released this in a Blu-ray case, a standard Blu-ray case. And to my knowledge, it's never been released in any other format. So, this is a very widely available Criterion. It's probably the most widely available Criterion. But I do love this movie. This is a David Fincher movie. It's towards the bottom of his filmography for me, but it was just such a unique film. Some of the de-aging doesn't really work, or the aging, shall I say, doesn't really work all that well. But, you know, if you suspend a little belief, it is a really interesting story and a very good story. So, and of course, Brad Pitt's always fantastic. So I went ahead and decided to pick this up. It was $6. We'll see. Maybe I'll get a replacement case for it. But for now, this is what I have. This is spine number 476, by the way, for you Criterion collectors. Next one. I'm really excited about this one. This is called Arrival. This is a film from Denis Villeneuve. I can never pronounce this dude's name. Villeneuve? He's a French guy, I believe. French filmmaker, but he's been making a lot of really good films as of late. And so I think my favorite movie of his is called Enemy. It was released for A24. That was a fantastic film. So I'm really excited on checking this out. I've heard good things about it. It's sci-fi. So I went back and forth as to whether I should get this on 4K or Blu-ray. There were several movies in there today that I, thought about picking up, but I really want to get them on 4K and not Blu-ray. But, Blu-ray is still really good quality, so Arrival. And then the last one that I picked up, this is probably what I'm most excited for. I picked up Season 1 of Westworld. I haven't seen Westworld, but I've heard fantastic things about it, so I'm interested in checking it out. Of course, starting with Season 1. It's an HBO series, got a fantastic cast. Almost every HBO series I've seen, I've loved. And again, I've heard very good things about this being like a dystopian, futuristic world. So I'm really excited in checking this one out. It's $15, which is not like an outstanding deal, but it's a decent deal for, a TV season on Blu-ray. It's got the, the book with it. It's got the fancy digipack packaging. So, yeah, I went ahead and snagged this. So, yeah, Westworld. So, decent stack of stuff picked up from Disc Replay. Spent a little bit more than normal. It was just under $40, but still, I got a lot of great stuff for, $40. So, I'm going to head over, probably going to get some food, and then we'll head over to Best Buy. Okay, so the most important objective of the day has been accomplished. I've got some Panda Express. I've eaten, getting ready to head into Best Buy and see what they've got in there. Hopefully, fingers crossed, that they actually have some of the stuff I'm looking for, especially Nomadland. That's my #1 objective. So, gonna head into Best Buy. Let's see what they've got. Okay, well, as you could probably tell, the Best Buy Blu-ray situation has not gotten better. So their main movie section used to be, I believe, 3 full rows of Blu-rays. Now we are down to basically 1 full row, because they have that half row that I showed you in the video, and then on the flip side they have another half row. They've got a few little end caps here and there, but for the most part, that is the core of their Blu-ray selection. So very sad, very disappointing that the Blu-ray selection here is definitely declining. Again, go ahead and let me know in the let me know in the comments below if your guys' Best Buys are doing similar things. I know I watch Cool Duder all the time. He does videos every single week for every new Blu-ray release, and he goes to Best Buy every week. And I've seen his Best Buy, from what he said, has gone down a lot as well in physical media. I guess I expected it. I mean, I know the way of physical media is declining, and unfortunately that seems to be inevitable with streaming and everything, but especially with the pandemic. With the pandemic, everybody went to streaming, and I feel like physical media has just suffered dramatically, and movie theaters have suffered dramatically, and those are 2 of my favorite things in life. So it's kind of been a tough time with this pandemic. But for many reasons, obviously, that's not the most important thing. The most important thing is people have lost their lives to this. But anyway, not to get too depressing there. So I do have a trick up my sleeve as far as Nomadland is concerned. My last stop for today, and then I'm actually going to go see a movie, is Walmart. So I'm gonna hope that they might have Nomadland in this Walmart. This Walmart is notorious for being very understocked, and they don't have a huge selection either. So I'm gonna try and check it out and see if they have it. If not, we'll just wait and see if I order it online or something. The really bad part about this is the Best Buy is not that great now. There is no Target in this town. So I'm really running out of options here for buying Blu-rays here in Terre Haute. So who knows? But it's what I have to deal with for now. Okay, let's check Walmart, see if they have what I'm looking for, and if not, I'm gonna go see a movie. The movie that I'm gonna be seeing is called Separation. It's a horror movie. It looks kind of interesting. I don't know if it's going to be that good, but there's really nothing out that I really want to see. The big movie out right now is Mortal Kombat, and I'm really just not interested in that. So, I'm going to give this movie Separation a try. So I'm going to head to Walmart, and then I'll let you know my thoughts on the movie. Okay, so we're at the theater. Don't know how well you can see that or not, but we are here. Walmart was a bust, like I kind of sort of expected it to be. So instead, I'm just going to head in there. We're going to see Separation, see what I think about it. I don't have overly high expectations. I was just kind of thinking earlier today, I haven't been to the theater to see a good movie this year, really. I mean, I enjoyed Godzilla vs. Kong. I thought it was good for what it was, but it obviously wasn't a great movie. And then the only other movie I've seen in theaters this year is Wonder Woman 1984, which was not good, hardly at all. So, hoping that this will be good, so I can have a good experience, but nonetheless, hopefully there are going to be some good movies that actually come out this year. So, nonetheless, I still love going to the movie theater. It's one of my favorite things to do, so I'm going to head in there, and then I'll come back and let you guys know what I thought about the film. Okay, so I just finished seeing Separation, I believe is what it was called, and I'm going to go ahead and give you my thoughts on the film. So, I was kind of, I don't know, my opinion's very mixed. I was pleasantly surprised because it was actually interesting and entertaining to watch. It was very different from what I anticipated it being. I don't want to go into details in case any of you are interested in seeing the film, but it wasn't like as terrible as every mainstream horror movie seems to be as of late. So it wasn't just like entirely jump scares. I mean, there were tons of jump scares, but it took a different approach to the genre, which I did appreciate. There were elements of this movie that I really loved. The visuals, I thought the illustrations were beautiful. I loved a lot of the visuals in this movie. The monsters, I thought, looked very good and very cool, and very creepy. The themes of, like, you know, divorce and other themes that I don't want to get into because of the film. There were a couple moments in this film where you think you know where the movie's going, especially very early on in the film. Something pretty big happens very early on in the film, and up till that point, I'm like, oh, I know where this is going. This is just going to be, you know, boring, you know, a typical horror movie situation. And then something happens, and it completely changes the trajectory of the film, which I did really enjoy that. Now, writing I thought was very lazy. I did not care hardly about any of the characters. There were maybe one or two characters at the center of the story that were actually interesting. The others were, you know, pretty boring. They really were only there to kind of give some structure to the film. So I thought character development was incredibly weak. I really didn't find myself all that invested in these characters. Up until a certain point, there really wasn't a character that was likable in the film or relatable in the film. And then you do kind of get that as the movie goes on. My biggest problem with this movie is that it feels like the movie's an hour and 45 minutes. It feels like an hour and 40 minutes of build-up, really. I mean, it just builds and builds and builds. You get a little jump scare here, a little jump scare here, a little jump scare here, a little jump scare here. They keep hinting at what is happening, and they keep hinting at this big moment, and nothing really ever happens. It just feels like a letdown at the end. It feels like they were building and building and building, and sure, some crazy shit happens at the end of this movie, but it's nothing, you know, to match the hour and 30 minutes of buildup that they did for this movie. It just felt like, you know, they were constantly teasing you over and over and over again. And in the end, you're let down. So, this is an incredibly flawed movie with a few, you know, things that redeemed it for me. Is it a movie that I'm going to go out and buy, you know, the week that it comes out on Blu-ray? No. Is it a movie that I'm going to see again in theaters? Probably not. Is it a movie that I think maybe you should check out if you like horror movies? Yeah, I think you should. It is a little bit different. It's, you know, it's not your typical mainstream horror movie of, you know, the 2020s, but it's still not, you know, spectacular. It's not Hereditary or anything. So if I have to give this film a grade, I think I would go, I think a 2 out of 5 is probably right where it's at, slightly below average. This movie, I believe, just came out yesterday. Today's May 1st, so it came out April 30th, I do believe. So, if you're interested in checking this out, if this is at a theater near you, like I said, I recommend giving it a shot. You know, maybe don't go in with the highest expectations in the world, but I think you will enjoy yourself. It's an enjoyable time at the movies. Okay, that's all I have for this video. I hope you guys really enjoyed my pickups, my media hunting pickups, as well as my thoughts on this movie, Separation. And I will talk to you guys later. Hope you all have an amazing weekend. See ya.